Crooks looking to start first and 6, looking deep over the middle, and it's going to be picked off by Kansas Wesleyan, headed back down past the 20. Got a little bit of a lane, and that flag pull is going to happen at the 10-yard line, and that is huge to start off for the Kansas Wesleyan defense.
You need a big play, and it seems like this is now the third game where we see the opening play turn into an interception, and just good wherewithal by Kansas Wesleyan to be prepared. Not exactly sure what the thought process is for Warner to start off with a big deep play. It was a gamble, but now Kansas Wesleyan in prime position to take the first score.
Jada Wilson on the interception there for the Coyotes. Bunch formation here for Kansas Wesleyan. Hernandez Silva back in the shotgun, takes the snap. Looking, rolling to her right, throws it up, and it's tipped away and caught. Great catch to stay with it through the contact there for that Coyote touchdown.
And all it is just being calm, being simple, act like you've been there before, and Hernandez Silva is already showing signs of that poised veteran leadership.
So the all-important PAT here for K-Dub. Takes a snap, looking left, slant route, no good. Well defended there by the Royals to keep it to a 6-0.
Be a formidable opponent and to be kept in games.
Crooks takes it, looks over the middle, caught ball, and that's going to be a first down and a lot more, getting about 8 yards past there on the catch by Madeline Portwood out of Bradenton, Florida, and that's going to move the sticks for the Royals.
You just got to find ways to stay in the middle, and Warner has to keep it simple. Again, it's the dink and dunks that can get you the yardage, because when you're working in these 20-yard box increments, it's not like regular NFL football where everybody's accustomed to seeing a first down at every 10 yards. Everything is predetermined, so in this case, you can afford to get the couple 7-8 yard plays.
Royals are going for it here on 4th and 2. Takes the snap, as Crooks looking, and that's going to be a sack there. Nice sack. Getting in there is Layla Cassian. Turnover on downs for Kansas Wesleyan, and try to find space. Snap to Hernandez Silva, looking deep, and just through the hands of the receiver. Incomplete pass. That pass was intended for Ashley Hawthorne.
She's trying to get through the middle with intermediate passes, and again, just with them being overthrown, it's got to be a consistency.
Going deep and knocked away. No flag there. Going for Corinne DeQuee there, and that's going to be a turnover on downs, and the Warner defense steps up.
Interesting move there by Hernandez Silva to still try to go for that corner route, even though there were 2 defenders in that area. Looked like she may have been able to gauge it as a step beat, but either way, you got to bring it down and make the big plays.
Nice spiraling kick there, taken at the 10-yard line. Let's see if they kneel it there at the 19. Oh, that's a forward pass, and they caught that there. So we're going to have an illegal forward pass. The ball is spotted at about the 27-yard line, but it's going to be going back.
And this is why one of the key pieces when it comes to flag football, this is one of the components that teams will try to practice all the time, because forward passes are one of those things you cannot mess up on, and it could be a big difference between what could be a big breakaway for 6 points or something that gets called back. And you got to make sure that when you're doing it, you do it in a lateral formation. You see most of these players, the way they're throwing it, they're still throwing it like if they're a quarterback, or they pitch it off with just getting it off, and that's where the direction of the ball can go left or right. Naturally, it's going to go forward because the way your body is angled and positioned, it is going to go forward naturally. So unless if you're intentionally trying to throw it to your side or backwards, you almost have to act as if you're throwing it back in order to make sure it's at the very least lateral, if not back, so that way you don't come across that issue of a forward pass.
Get the defense to fall back a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's a risk that you take anyways, because, again, it is a 1-score difference.
And there she goes. Gets the first down, and a lot more as she spins her way down to about the 28-yard line. That's going to be a first down and a large chunk more. It's exactly what we were talking about with Hernandez Silva being the X factor, being able to get out on the edge.
And you'll see there Warner really not paying attention to that possible option of Hernandez Silva trying to run to the outside. They were looking more towards the middle. They were waiting for that dink and dunk in the middle, and that just sets up the opportunity to gain some extra yards, whereas Hernandez Silva can be that dual threat quarterback. Is just waiting for an opportunity to make a big play.
Rodriguez over the middle, gets it off, and with the pitch there. They're going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards there on second down.
See, and that's what you see right there on your screen. That's more textbook example when it comes to pitching it off. You want to make sure you're at that right angle to where you can still look as if you're passing it slightly behind you, but it's in a direction where whoever receives the catch is still going to be able to keep going while she receives the pitch.
A lot of room here for Kansas Wesleyan as Rodriguez takes it, and she's going deep. She's trying to find a Mary Logan who's got it, and she's going to try to get into the red zone and more. She is pulled there at the 15-yard line, and that's a huge explosive play for Warner to get into the Kansas Wesleyan red zone.
It's just a matter of time before you see the big plays, and that time Kansas Wesleyan really not that honed in. Not exactly sure why the back safeties just weren't seeing the slice and dice move, a seam route if you will, to make that big play, and now all of a sudden you got Warner in position to potentially tie this game.
Rodriguez takes the snap looking, tosses it up to the end zone. She's got an open receiver, but it's just too far out of the reach of Andrea Castillo.
And you can see now that's twice where Kansas Wesleyan has left that open deep middle. You have the safeties. They're coming more concerned about the sides than they are with the middle. Warner seeing that, and they're trying to take advantage, but wide open plays like that, you got to capitalize on it.
Flat across the secondary here for Kansas Wesleyan. Rodriguez takes it looking. Caught ball and touchdown. Right back to Amiri Logan on basically a drag route across the middle, and Kansas Wesleyan had no defense for that.
Amiri Logan, you see, just wide open, just takes a quick slant route, post in the middle, able to be wide open. You can already tell that since that big play by Logan, Kansas Wesleyan needs to try to figure out a way to regroup defensively because they have not been able to hold in sorts.
It's a 6-6 game right now. This PAT is big right here. Rodriguez takes the snap, looking, fires, and that is a caught ball and a good PAT for Warner, and Warner takes the lead on the back of Amiri Logan and Anna Vincini on the PAT, leading the Yotes 7-6 here with 8:32 left in the first half. Third down for Kansas Wesleyan. Takes the snap to Hernandez Silva. Looking, takes off to the left. She's still looking, tosses the ball deep. Caught by Kansas Wesleyan for a first down. Warner just broke under at the last second in the secondary. I'm not sure what they were seeing there.
And again, that rollout by Hernandez Silva, you go up there finding an open pocket through that Warner secondary and just being in the right position, staying afloat, and give credit to Kansas Wesleyan's receiver. That was just a tremendous play by Angel Roman to just be in that right position to get the catch. And you just have to go to your best options to keep it moving.
Hernandez Silva under pressure, but I believe she is sacked in the backfield. She is Jashana Lyons there on the sack, and that brings up a fourth down for Kansas Wesleyan, who will likely go for it here. Hernandez Silva going right on the quarterback keeper, and my stars. Again, Jashana Lyons with the second consecutive sack, and absolutely stops the Kansas Wesleyan offense in their tracks. The freshman from St. Petersburg, Lakewood, coming up big in the closing minutes of the second quarter. Rodriguez rolling right, throws it and just too high for Cynthia Holmes. And Holmes does have an impressive catch radius, but it seems that most of the passes going her way today have just been outside of it.
Again, it's got to be consistency there, and Holmes can make those plays. I mean, like, that's been one of her bread and butters, but for Rodriguez, you got to make sure you're connecting with your receivers. If you're missing up on these textbook throws, that's what can cost you an opportunity to even gain a further lead.
Jenna Marrero on the outstanding tackle there, spreading the field from sideline to sideline as Hernandez Silva looks over the top, and that is picked off by Warner, by Anna Vincini.
This Vincini just was in the right position at the right time. She was able to read that pass. She opens up her body a little bit to make the pick, and Hernandez Silva was expecting to loft it over to her receiver, but just great position by the freshman to be in gear to make that interception versus over the back shoulder. It's 42 seconds left, and you got to find a way to the end zone.
Rodriguez takes the snap, looking to her left. She's going to toss it up. And, oh, man, caught ball. What a great catch through traffic.
And just another fade route there, that time over 2 Kansas Wesleyan defenders. And for Castillo to still have the wherewithal to make that catch is huge. Sets you up for a new set of downs, and you're within 10 yards of pay dirt.
Rodriguez takes the snap, looking. Fires it over the middle. Caught ball there by Cynthia Holmes. Going to be down at about the 4-yard line with 15 seconds left.
See, now with Rodriguez getting it back, you find Holmes. You finally get an opportunity to use the Sun Conference Player of the Year. You got to continue to drive it in. Just go with your best players in this situation. And now as they get into this timeout, you're back into the similar situation you started at first down. Are you going to look to try to get it over the middle like you did for that first touchdown? Are you going to try to hit it to the outside? I mean, very interesting how this next sequence of downs is going to be. And Kansas Wesleyan, they know what's coming, and Warner's go to inside slant post routes. So,
except that Logan is looking on from the sidelines here and not on the field as we set up for a play from the 3-yard line. Takes the snap to Rodriguez, looking, and Holmes comes down with it. The master of the 50-50 ball strikes again, and Cynthia Holmes does what she does best and gets 6 points.
And even through 3 defenders, you trust a veteran like Cynthia Holmes to still come up and make big plays. And this is just showing shades of what she did in the Sun Conference tournament.
For the snap to start the second half. Snap, looking, gets away from the rusher, and she's going to take off, got the first down and more. And that pull is going to be spotted there at the 26-yard line.
Giving her the space in the room to do what she does best.
Hernandez Silva pitches it out to the far side. A little dancing there, but a great flag pull there by the Warner defender.
Yeah, you get that screen option route to Jasmine Whitfield. She's able to get that space to make a couple of moves and perhaps gain about 3 or 4 more yards. And that is all you need if you're Kansas Wesleyan, just to keep the ball moving. You just got to find ways to continue to inch it slowly but surely.
Hernandez Silva calls for the snap, looks, rolling left on the run, caught ball, first down, and a lot more drops back. A little bit of hip movement there, gets a few more yards there for Angel Roman. Takes the snap, does Hernandez Silva, and she's flushed right. There's a couple of Warner defenders, and they get the flag pull, but not in time. That's going to be a first down for the Yotes there as they continue their march down the field to open this second half. Looking like an option play out to the far side, but man, the slippery Hernandez Silva goes right up the gut, and they're going to spot that at right about the 9-yard line.
Yeah, and again, just another one of those routes where you'll just get Hernandez Silva up the middle, use the hips and dips to gain you those extra yards, but that's the quickest way. If you're going to use hips and dips to be the most effective, you got to go north and south. You can't really go to the side because you gain that leverage for the defender to come around and grab that flagpole if needed.
So Hernandez Silva looks, goes back to the right, goes right back up the middle, and that's going to be a flagpole at about the 4-yard line. But Kansas Wesleyan using the legs of Hernandez Silva to pick apart the defense of the Warner Royals.
Yeah, Warner's playing a little bit back. They're trying to play in that zone defense, and if you have a dual threat quarterback like Hernandez Silva, you're going to eat up that option every time. They're trying to bait Warner to cut in a little bit more, so that way if it's a little bit more of a closed up defense or a man on coverage, they could potentially go on a fadeaway out route or get somebody open.
Twins to the near side here for Kansas Wesleyan. Let's see what they do here right on the goal line. Snap to Hernandez Silva, looks left, flushes out to the right, pops it up, and that's going to be a touchdown. And our game is going to be tied pending extra point. It's 13-12 right now, and nice job just getting out and finding the open receiver, buying yourself some time to get away from the rush.
Ashley Hawthorne's second touchdown of the day, just a go-to receiver in goal line situations for Kansas Wesleyan.
Going for 2 from the 10-yard line. Snap to Hernandez Silva. It's going to be the option out to the far side, and the flag is pulled, and that's going to be no good. Stop there at the 5. That's a tough 10 yards to gain all at once.
Again, you're trying to go away from the setup, and an option route with 10 yards away, I mean, that's pretty bold to be expecting to try to get a 2-point conversion. I thought I would have been able to see like a 10-yard pass, and especially with Brianna Hernandez Silva's success slicing her way through the middle, whether it's through a run option or through a pass, and give Kansas Wesleyan an opportunity to take the lead.
Logan and Holmes up top as Rodriguez takes the snap. She's looking over the middle and goes up. Does Cynthia Holmes, shows off the hops that we've been telling you that she's had. We haven't seen them until now when she goes airborne to make that catch. Rodriguez takes the snap, rushing 2. Caught pass by Logan, first down and a little bit more. Pull there on the outside. But Warner does get a fresh set of downs as we come to about 2.5 minutes left in this third quarter of play.
Again, just that outside route. Logan has been able to establish a good routine out there on the far side. And you just get the pass to her. She'll find a way to box out or gain that extra distance and space to make the reception and also be difference makers.
Rodriguez takes the snap, rushing 2, going deep. She's got Holmes wide open, but she overthrows her. And that is an opportunity to take an 8-point lead. Dreadfully missed there for the Royals.
This is the NAIA National Flag Football Tournament. There's no excuses. You got to make it work.
Rodriguez takes the snap, rushing 2 is Kansas Wesleyan. Wide open and overthrown again for Holmes. And that's... You start to feel bad at some point for Holmes being targeted, but hasn't been much she's actually been able to pull down.
I like that idea by Rodriguez, though. You get Holmes to come out on that streak route, give her an opportunity to get the ball. But again, Rodriguez is just pushing that ball out a little too far. You just have to make sure that cadence is all there and just getting the drop back and give Holmes just enough time to go get it.
That's leaving an opening there as Rodriguez takes the snap, looking deep. She's got Logan, but overthrown, and Logan looked like she broke off the route early. Maybe there's a miscommunication there, and that's going to be a turnover on downs for Warner. See the triplets down at the bottom. Looking is Hernandez Silva. DeQuee coming across the middle. Pass back, first down and more here. Flag pulled there by Lexi Mosley right at about the 36-yard line or so, but that does move the sticks for Kansas Wesleyan on third down. Nice job letting the play develop.
How Angel Roman was that wide open on the near side, we may never know. But in terms of the defense, you know, if you're Kansas Wesleyan, you take it. You know, you got to rely on one of your go-to threats at receiver to be open and make those plays.
Second down here, takes the snap. Does Hernandez Silva looking, gets out to the right. No, knocked away. Amiri Logan almost had a 4th interception in the last 2 games. Hernandez Silva surveys the field, looking, pump fakes, gets it off to DeQuee, but it's going to be short, defended there by Anna Vincini, and we've got a 4th down and 4 yards here. Hernandez Silva looks, under pressure, goes back to the left. Defense collapses, and the flag pulled there by Anna Vincini, and that's going to be a turnover on downs for Kansas Wesleyan.
But I think we got a flag that was thrown on the play, too.
Indeed we do.
Inside referee may have seen something. We'll look on the Jumbotron.
It is on Kansas Wesleyan.
You heard gain some option reps.
And that's tipped and caught, intercepted by Kansas Wesleyan. This might be a pick 6. It's going to be, and Kansas Wesleyan takes the lead on a pick 6, tipped at the line and caught by Alexa Manser.
This is why you don't try anything fancy. And it looked like it got tipped at the line of scrimmage, too, when that interception was made. I mean, Kansas, it's a recipe for disaster. You got to keep things close. And if you're Warner, there's no excuse for that. But on Kansas Wesleyan's side, great heads-up play by Mansour to be at the position to pick it off and just beeline it for the end zone. And that could potentially be the difference in this contest. Now the momentum changes. You go from being able to go to the line. Now there's a sense of urgency to keep it moving.
Rodriguez going up top, looking for Castillo. Well defended there by Kansas Wesleyan. Was in the pocket of Castillo, and that's going to fall harmlessly to the ground.
Yeah, initially looking at that instant replay too, it looked like Rodriguez was getting fairly close to the line of scrimmage when she threw that ball up in the air. I almost thought for a second that that could have been a tic-tacky potential illegal pass at that moment. But either way, got the throw off. Kansas Wesleyan making a nice defensive stop.
And again, you have Logan and Holmes to the near side here. Takes the snap, does Crooks. Looking, going deep. It's a bit of a duck, and oh my stars. Even through that, Cynthia Holmes almost still caught that ball.
Kansas Wesleyan's not fooled. They're going out there playing defense and stepping up big between Jada Wilson and this secondary unit for Kansas Wesleyan. That is a huge, huge stop there for the Coyotes.
Crooks catches Andy Castillo, and I think that's going to be short. Yep, they're going to spot that at about the 37-yard line with 3:23 left and counting, and that's going to be 4th down now for the Royals.
And again, good read there. Nice outstretched reach by Castillo, not just with the wingspan, but also trying to go fight for that first down. I mean, this is, like you said, partner, early on, it's survival mode. And if you're Warner, you got to find a way to make this first down. Try to get something short just to keep the sticks moving.
4th down here at the 37. Crooks looking. That ball is caught. Cynthia Holmes gets a little bit more. Jukes gets the hips going, and that ball is going to be spotted at about the 28-yard line. It's a first down and a lot more for the Royals as they try to get back in this game with 2:30 or so left.
And again, just on that out route, even with a defender on top of Holmes, she is still able to make that reception and keep things going for the Royals. And now you see a little bit of life on that Warner sideline. As long as they continue to remain consistent and not try to do anything too brash, there's a chance.
Crooks takes the pass, looks, gets it off, right up the middle. With a flag pull there at about the 25-yard line. Going to be 2nd down and 5 here. Royals are driving. Crooks takes it, and that is caught by Andy Castillo. How she fit that in that window, I'll never know.
Again, we talked about it earlier. Cynthia Holmes, it's her bread and butter play, but realistically, that's been a go-to thing for Warner, is getting those out routes and just making sure that you throw it just enough to get on the outstretched arms of your receivers. And that time for Castillo, just showing textbook out routes on how it should be ran.
Crooks takes the snap, looking left, finds a receiver, and that's going to be a few yards here.
And all of a sudden, you start to see the very familiar targets for Warner come out of the blue, no pun intended, to come out and get these plays and to make these short happens.
Crooks looking, fires over, and, well, she does hit the sign in the back, but that's about all she's going to hit on that play. Crooks takes the snap, one-man rush, looking, fires, and it's out of the outstretched arms of Andy Castillo, and Warner has one more play to make this happen. It's win or go home. It's a 5-point game, 4th down. Crooks takes the snap, looking, fires, has a receiver, caught! Touchdown, Cynthia Holmes in the corner of the end zone, and the Warner Royals have snatched victory out of the jaws of the Coyotes.
Well, hang on there, partner. There's still 58 seconds, and you and I have seen crazier things happen in the final minute, but 4th down, excellent play by Crooks. They go for that corner route to Cynthia Holmes. Excellent route there by Holmes. And again, big players making big-time plays. That's huge for the Warner Royals.
With 2 timeouts. Hernandez Silva takes it out to DeQuee and through her hands. That's it's not how you want to start the drive, but with only 3 seconds off the clock, it doesn't kill you too much.
Still final minute pressures. You got to be thinking about how many times have we seen Kansas Wesleyan this season in those set situations where they have to try to score in the final minute. And if they can't, then they lose the game. I mean, they've been on the winning side of things most of the time.
Trip set to the right, or to the near side, looking. She's going to run for it. She's looking. There's a flag in the backfield, and there's a lot of Coyotes. And that is a run away.
But it's not going to count because I think Hernandez Silva was over the line when she made that
There's
throw.
a penalty on Warner. Roughing the passer, and the 76-yard touchdown pass snatches victory back away out of the mouths of the Lions, the Royals.
And it goes back to discipline because that contact there, just a little too much force on the blocker. I mean, you gotta watch what you're doing from a rushing standpoint. But regardless of that, going back to Angel Roman right there on the side, a huge play for Kansas Wesleyan, which is why I said, partner, 58 seconds. You can't count any team out. Still plenty of time to make a big play.
Staying with Crooks at quarterback. She takes the snap. Two-man rush. Out. Caught ball, need to get out of bounds. And she does. Short of the first down, but the clock will stop with 37 seconds left. Crooks takes the snap, looking. Going across the middle, and it is caught. First down and a lot more. Spotted at the 36-yard line. Crooks takes the snap, looking, goes over the middle, caught ball by Cynthia Holmes, gets the first down. Ball will be spotted at the 39-yard line with 18 seconds left. Clock again will start when the ball is spotted. Yeah, you definitely, I don't know that. Let's see who's got the timeout. That's going to be Warner's third and final timeout. Crooks takes the snap, looking. That's going to be underthrown, and we are going to have, I believe, a fourth down play here. Has Crooks, the man in motion. That's Holmes. Takes the snap, looking, tosses it deep. Got a receiver. And knocked away out of the hands of Anna Vincini. Deep, had a step and just couldn't bring it in.
Had the step there. Vicencini had a real shot at making a big play. But again, you make that play, the clock would, I mean, obviously be a first down. But if you're Warner, you got to get to that line and make sure you spike the ball quickly. And now with 6 seconds, you're practically looking at another Hail Mary situation.
Holmes and Logan to this side. Crooks takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, throws it off to Castillo. And that's going to be a pull, and that's going to be game. And Kansas Wesleyan survives and advances and sends the Warner Royals back to Central Florida on a 24-19 heck of a game to start off day 2 here at the NAIA Flag Finals.